today is a very special day because we are getting with the program. I am joined with Jenny Cox of Guild Mortgage, who's going to walk us through some of her unique down payment assistance programs. Welcome, Jenny.
Thank you. Thank you, Jillian.
And Catherine's here as well.
Yes, I'm here too. I've just forgotten.
Okay, so Jenny, tell us a little bit about yourself. You obviously are a loan officer.
Yes, yeah. So I am a loan officer. I am with Guild Mortgage, and I have been a loan officer for about 5 years now.
Awesome. So, as we have gathered from these various podcast episodes, loans are not one size fits all. And there are unique programs people that can qualify for based on occupation, location, credit, right?
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about the Home is Possible program. I know it's fairly unique to you.
Sure. So Home is Possible is a statewide program. If you are buying a primary residence, you can look at using the Home is Possible program, and you can get up to 5% grant funds from them. There's different repayment structures on that. It just depends on which one you choose. Some are forgiven after 3 years. Others take a full 30 years to forgive the funds. But it's a pretty cool program because it will take care of the entire down payment and some of the closing costs.
And this is on an FHA or conventional or both?
Good question. So you can go VA, USDA, FHA, or conventional.
So if you take the 5% assistance and you're in a 3.5% FHA, what the 1.5 is for closing costs?
Yeah, the 1.5 would go towards closing costs. Now, Home is Possible does not offer 5% grant funds for FHA. Home at Last does. If you're going conventional, though, is where you could get the 5% grant funds. Home is Possible, and 3% down, making the other 2% go to closing costs.
Nice. Okay. So that one seems like fairly open to anyone, huh?
Yeah, the majority of people can qualify for that, actually. The income limits are pretty high, $98,500. But what I find, if you get the occasional person that makes over the income limits for that program, we try to put them in Home at Last. Home at Last, you can go all the way up to $135,000 for combined income. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Awesome. And so let's get into the more specific programs. There are certain programs that, based on your job, you can qualify for. What are those like?
Oh, good question. Okay, so we have the Culinary Down Payment Assistance Program, where you can get up to $20,000 to go towards your down payment and your closing costs. With that particular program, those funds are never forgiven. It's a silent second that stays on the loan, so you don't pay any interest on it. And you have to pay it back if you go to sell. Most of the time, if you refinance, they will subordinate the loan, which is pretty cool because, again, it's a silent second, so you're not paying any interest on it. Go ahead.
You never pay it back unless you sell the house?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, okay. And that will cover down payment and closing costs?
Well, so it depends on which loan type that you choose. If it's conventional, then you have to come in with your own 1% and any non-allowables. So I'd say about an extra $1,200. If it's FHA, you have to come in with your own 3.5% down, and then the culinary program will take care of the closing costs. So I usually try to go conventional when I can. One of the other cool things about that program is it doesn't come with a higher interest rate, which is so cool.
That is really cool. So what is the higher interest rate on the other ones?
On the Home is Possible?
Yes.
So Home is Possible and Home at Last have different rates. And it depends on how much assistance you get and what program you go with. You could go as low as 2.875, getting a 2% grant with FHA as of today. Or all the way up to 5.625, going conventional, getting 5% grant funds as of today. But it changes on a daily basis.
And what about if you just need help to cover the down payment? What if we're able to negotiate for the seller to cover all the costs and it's just an average FHA $330,000 house where we just need down payment? We just need that 3.5.
Yeah.
How much is that rate?
How much is that rate? That would be 3.625% this morning when I looked it up. But it changes on a daily basis with whatever the market's doing. So
great. Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I've had instances where clients have gotten their earnest money deposit back because the agent was so awesome to be able to get the seller to contribute.
Very good. Cool. We can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you're awesome.
So besides just being a culinary person in that field, there's also Home is Possible for teachers.
Sure, yeah.
And what does that entail? That's unique.
That's a really cool program. One of the things I like about that one is it doesn't come with the higher interest rate. So you get a below market rate. It has to be a government loan. Okay, so that means FHA, VA, USDA for those. You get $7,500 after 5 years, does not need to be repaid. And they prorate it, right? So every month that you make a payment, they forgive part of that amount that you're getting from the $7,500. Can go towards down or closing.
But that's only teachers, not CCSD employees.
No, good question. Yeah. So it's public charter school teachers, kindergarten through 12th grade.
Their job title must say teacher.
It must say teacher.
I know,
and
we
it
try
must
to
be
get a
full-time.
counselor.
Oh,
okay.
did you?
Yeah.
And they ask for your teacher's license as well to verify that you are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
They're
Dr.
very
Teacher.
particular. No principals. I had a principal that wanted to do it once, and we had to put them in regular home as possible.
Well, that's not bad.
No.
There are alternatives.
Sure.
Okay. So, what else do we have? There's military programs, right?
There is. There's the VA Home for Heroes. So if you want to get a below market interest rate, you can do that and get no assistance. But you can pair regular home as possible with a VA loan too. So if you just need help with 2% of the closing costs, your rate's not going to be too high. That helps with the closing cost, and you essentially not pay a lot to buy a house being VA, because your down payment's going to be zero anyway for VA.
Does the Home for Heroes limit you to a geographical area? Like an underserved area? No?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Good.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about the one last one?
Which? Sure.
Yeah. So this is one of my favorite, and
Oh.
yeah, because it helps a lot of people that wouldn't necessarily be able to buy without the program. It's for really low income, so 80% AMI and below. It goes off household size, but every dollar that you put down, they will match it up to $4. So they will give you $22,000 if you put down $5,500.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And that is down payment assistance matching.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean in terms of house purchase power?
Purchasing power. So their requirements for debt to income ratio are a little bit more strict for that program. They have to be 36, 43. That might not mean a lot to you guys, but I look at those numbers when you do your application.
So you just want someone who has income and very little monthly debt, like no car payments or minimal credit card debt, that sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah. And they fit into that. So the other cool thing is they don't have to have the 640 credit score like the other programs. This one comes with a 600 credit score or higher, right? And so you're able to get people that they just wouldn't be able to qualify for any other program.
That's really good. So somebody who has a minimum 600 score, makes less than $80,000 a year, and has a little bit of cash to have you match their funds.
So it's not necessarily 80,000. It's 80% of the area median income, and so it's going to go off household size. If you have a big household, then the income limits go up. If it's just one person, then right now the HUD limits are around 39,000 that you can make yourself.
Oh, good.
The more people you have in your family, the higher that becomes. But it is household income, so whoever's working that's of age in the house gets added.
Great. Okay.
Awesome. That's definitely unique, and it obviously shows that regardless of situation, circumstance, whatever you're doing, that you can qualify for a loan and get some pretty good opportunities with it, which is very unique. And so let's just talk general, because these programs are awesome. How can you prep for a program?
Oh gosh. So usually the way I like to do it is get someone's complete application together, run credit, get their income, and then put them in whatever program is going to work for them. And if they're not where they need to be to get there, I will give them a plan. Whether it's 1 month, 6 months, a year, however long it's going to take, we let them know, okay, this is what you need to do to get where you need to be. Whether it's more employment history or more income or paying off debts or getting credit up.
That's awesome, and it's obviously all about strategy, and obviously coming to an expert like Jenny will get you in the best situation possible. So that's really good to hear. So I think that's all for the programs, right? Or is there anything else you want to mention?
No, I think that sums up what's available in Nevada at the moment. Now there's changes to different programs that come available, and I try to learn as many as I can. So if there's anything else that comes up, we'll put them in that program instead, if it works.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I think as I say every single episode, I think it's just research and going to professionals that can advise you, because this is, I'm looking at a piece of paper right now. There's at least 6 programs that have pretty general outlines, and it's a little bit tough for us to select one of those. That's her job. She can advise you when she has all of the information in front of her. It's like a puzzle, and she's good at it.
And so if any of these programs that we have talked about have piqued your interest, you will find Jenny's contact info and all of her socials linked in our description. And Jenny is one of our preferred lenders, so we do a lot of business with her. So Jenny will most definitely be back on the show.
Yay!
And thanks for joining us, Jenny.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Thanks.